day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today will be big box store plant shopping at the Home Depot out in North Houston, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That's the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. If you have any questions about the plants that I feature, you can see it is a cloudy day. It was actually filmed about 3 hours before my grandmother's 90th birthday celebration. So I figured I would actually do a big box store plant shopping video before I actually went to her 90th birthday celebration. Super excited to share that journey with you as well, especially for those that are actually a YouTube member for my YouTube membership page, the Super Plant Foldies. If you are interested in joining my YouTube membership tier, there is a direct link in the comment section below. But today we are in a small town just north of Houston. I was actually visiting my grandmother and my family. We are actually having a family reunion, but you know, whenever I travel, I like to go and check out the big box stores as well.
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Love Plants.
And I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you going to do? You're going to share the video.
You have to.
You have to. Today. All right, guys.
Today.
We'll see you on the next one. To start off today's plant shopping video, you can see that this particular Home Depot actually has the Exotic Angel by Costa Farms fixture with they're actually holding these hanging baskets of Costa Farms plants. These are all for $19.98. We're going to start off with this one right here. This one is some type of fern, and it's in a ceramic planter. So as far as the hanging baskets by Costa Farms, they really do have quite a bit of a selection. I love the fact that they have these readily available. So if you're looking for a different wide variety of plants, Costa Farms typically has them available, especially if you go big box store plant shopping at Lowe's, Home Depot, or Walmart. Now this town right here is actually a very small town, but I actually enjoy shopping at this Home Depot because they do have quite a bit of a selection, and oftentimes this particular Home Depot has a lot of the plants on sale. You can see right here we've got a Tradescanthia, Nanook, and this one is also for $9, or actually not 9, I'm sorry, $19.98. It's a beautiful plant. I actually have one of my Tradescanthias that got super leggy. I pretty much took cuttings of it, stuck it into the soil, and after about 2.5 weeks, I see that there's some new growth on it. And that's the a good way to actually promote new growth, is just by chopping it up. And then you can see right over here, we've got a Hedera helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera helix. This is the English ivy. This one is called the asterisk ivy here for $19.98. This is actually pretty massive. I love the shape of the leaves of this particular English ivy. And you know, as far as English ivy, if you want to grow them, they grow so well if you put them outside in an outdoor patio where it just gets protection from the hot afternoon sun. And then over here for another $19.98, it is another hanging basket of a lipstick plant. So here's the thing about lipstick plants. They're very similar in the texture of the leaves. They've got a very waxy texture as compared to Hoyas. I don't have any lipstick plants, but I've been also told that they're actually easy to take care of. If you are familiar with the plant care tips, I always encourage our plant foldies to leave that in the comment section. And for those who are actually new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies, welcome to my plant shopping YouTube channel. You can see that I do these daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. I call my viewers plant foldies because this is me merging my interests of obviously plants as well as folding, origami, paper cranes, and just origami, hence the term foldies. I love the fact that you guys have really embraced the plant foldy community. We have quite a bit of plant foldies, and I really do appreciate you guys always coming alongside with me as I do these daily plant shopping videos. But to kill a little bit of time, I decided to actually go to this Home Depot before my grandmother's 90th celebration. I am super excited to share some footage for the plant foldy community of my grandmother Belen's 90th celebration, as well as the super plant foldy tier, where you'll see some more in-depth content for that. I am really working on getting some really cool videos for the YouTube membership tier. So again, for those that are interested, it is only for $2.99. I joke around with some of my best friends like Isaac, hi JR Sings. I mentioned that basically for $2.99, you would get quite a bit of content that showcases my personal plant collection, my lifestyle blog, anything that's kind of random, some of my interests. So if you really want to get to know me as a person, and aside from just my plant content, this super plant foldy tier is going to be a good one. I need to go ahead and get all of that content available for you, but I mean, for $2.99, that's basically like if you drank a Starbucks drink or if you bought a bag of chips for a snack. So hopefully you might consume that exclusive content I have for my YouTube membership tier. I've been really promoting it just because I would love for more plant foldies to become super plant foldies, and you can find the direct link in the comment section. I realize that if you watch my YouTube videos on the YouTube app on your phone, you will not see the join button. So I have pinned it on my comment section for all of my videos. But anyways, as you can see right here, these are the smart plants, or the succulent hanging baskets that you will typically see at Home Depot. They always have that fixture for some of the hanging succulent plants. You can see this one right here is a Peperomia scandens, or Cupid's Peperomia. Beautiful plant. It's got some nice variegation. When you touch the leaves, it's very waxy. You don't have to really water this as often. And actually, all of the plants that I'm picking up right now, these hanging basket succulents, are plants that you don't have to water too often. And then here's a Hydra Helix. Just kidding. This is not a Hedera helix, although it does look like it. This is what you call a wax ivy, even though it's not really an English ivy, more so even in ivy in general. It's really interesting that it really does look like ivy. That's why they call this the wax ivy. Now, I've had this particular ivy in my plant collection 3 times. I have sent it to Plant Heaven 3 times because I really haven't figured out whether it's the watering, where I just didn't water it enough, and it also ended up getting spider mites. So even though it is not necessarily a Hydra helix, it still ended up getting spider mites. So I don't know if it's just the shape of the leaf or what it is, but it is also a spider mite magnet. It is a beautiful plant. It's a very unique plant, and honestly, I don't see this as often at Home Depot. It's one of the more uncommon succulent type plants in a hanging basket. Now, these are all for $12.98 by Smart Plants, and you can see this one is actually trailing. It's got some vining going on. Now, as far as the basic care tips for this particular plant and most of the hanging baskets of succulents, you just need lots of light. Bright light is best. I wouldn't really recommend putting them in full sun, and then just water when the soil is completely dry. Now, as far as pest preventatives, I would utilize a neem oil spray. So I have a DIY neem oil spray that I make called the Foldy Mist, which basically consists of taking a conventional spray bottle, filling it up with 2 tablespoons of cold pressed neem oil spray that you can buy from Amazon, 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol, either 90% strength or 70% strength, and then 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide. Mix it into the spray bottle, fill it up with water, and just drop 1 drop of liquid dish soap. Shake, 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 and you have a cheap and inexpensive pest preventative spray. But you can see right here, I just love the fact that they do have these smart plants. Smart Plants actually has quite a bit of these succulents. This one is a burro's tail, a burrito tail succulent. It's a really nice texture on the leaves. And, you know, as far as these succulents, if you're looking for inexpensive hanging baskets of succulents, you definitely want to go through Home Depot. You know, big box store plant shopping, you typically will find very cost-effective plant pricing for either tropical house plants, indoor tropical plants, and garden plants. So we're going to go ahead and walk over the outdoor section because this is where they actually house a lot of the indoor tropical plants. Feel free to chime into the comment section, plant foldies, and let me know what you think of the plants. But we are going to go ahead and take quite a bit of time looking at proven winner plants. So these are the proven winner caladium bulbs. So in my last couple of videos, I've featured caladiums because that's really my flavor of the month in terms of just spring 2025 gardening. So you can see right here, we've got some caladiums for $9.98. You get, I think, 2 bulbs of these different types of caladiums. I love proven winner caladium hybrids because you can see that they've got some interesting colors. They're very good performers. Now, as far as growing caladiums in bulbs, you want to plant them in fast draining soil. You can grow them in containers. I would recommend putting them in terracotta planters. And the reason being is you do not want to overwater caladiums because that will rot off the bulbs. Now, if you plant them in a landscape, these particular caladiums by proven winners can take a little bit more sun than the average caladium, but I would still put them in a situation where they are protected from the hot afternoon sun. If they get a lot of light morning sun, that is best, especially for the coloration. But as I pick around here, you can see that they've got different types of caladiums. Feel free to leave in the comments which ones you like. I definitely want to acquire a couple of specifically proven winner caladiums. You can see that this is the Heart to Heart series, and whenever you look at caladiums, they do have like a heart-shaped leaf. I do love the fact that they just have so many vibrant colors, and I've shared this in almost all my videos, but I really do gravitate toward more colorful foliage versus plants that are just green. I do appreciate green plants, but if I could find something with lots of color, I just think it's a little bit more joyful, it's a little bit more vibrant. It kind of matches my personality in terms of just being very colorful. So if you've ever met me in person, you already know I will, number 1, talk your ear off, and number 2, I am not shy by any means, and hopefully, plant foldies, I will run into you guys someday. I do plan on going to Houston PlantCon 2025 alongside with the Cultivation Corner, which is a plant podcast with Janae Simone, Steven of I Lift Plants. We are actually having the finale this week as this video premieres for season 2. And I really appreciate all the cultivators, which is what we call our YouTube viewers on the Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast. If you haven't already checked out the Plant Podcast, please do a search on YouTube for the Cultivation Corner. We would love for you to not only press the subscribe button, but make sure you turn on all notifications for the plant podcast and actually for my YouTube channel as well. So if you like daily plant shopping videos, if you like to look at plants, if you want to be part of the Plant Foldy community, please make sure you are pressing the subscribe button, but not only the subscribe button, make sure that you convert the subscribe button and move it to all notifications. It's really interesting, like I said again, that YouTube has analytics, and I've noticed that only 38% of our plant foldies have actually pressed all notifications. So I would hope you guys would double check that after this video ends to make sure all notifications are turned on so you don't miss any of the updates. But as you can see right here, this particular Home Depot has all of their plants outdoors. Houston is a little bit more humid in general when you compare it to Dallas, which is where I am based at. And so some of these plants actually do very well outdoors. Obviously, it's protected from the direct sun. You can see we are looking at Costa Farms plants, I've noticed that these plants are actually $1 less than, say, Lowe's. So instead of paying $8.98 for a 5-inch planter, it is $7.98 at this particular Home Depot, which brings me to another point. As I pick up these gorgeous exotic angel plants by Costa Farms, you always want to compare and contrast plant pricing. Whether it's at a big box store or a local small business or nursery, don't always assume a specific big box store is going to be more cost effective. Sometimes, or actually, I've noticed that there is a 50-50 chance that if you shop at a small business, a local nursery, it is also comparable to the plant pricing that you would find at a big box store. I've always been an advocate when it comes to supporting small businesses. Shout out to Peta's Planters, my favorite plant shop in Dallas by far. PetasPlanters.com. Check it out. You can actually order plants online. Peta's Planters now ships nationwide, so that's super exciting. And actually, we will be doing a live selling event on the Peta's Planters Instagram, May 7th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with the Cultivation Corner. You already know it's a fun little show we have, and there's going to be some amazing plants such as Aglaonemas. And then you can see right here, Proven Winners has really popped up, especially over the spring. You can see that there are different bulbs that you can pick up. And then these are just the Home Depot caladiums. These are also for $9.98. You can see that caladiums, when you really take the time to look at them, I mean, look at that. Beautiful pink foliage. Now, I would say if you're looking for cost-effective caladium bulbs, the best place to shop would be at Costco. They actually have quite a bit of caladium bulbs. I remember buying a bunch from Costco, planting them late April, early May, and then by summertime, I had a full back patio of probably 60 plus planters of different types of caladiums. It was really fun, and you can actually see snippets of my old caladium garden on my YouTube membership page. Again, if you want to join and become a super plant foldie, definitely click the link that is pinned on the comment section. I'm actually going to try to post at least twice a day moving forward on the YouTube membership page. I just need to get a lot of my content preloaded, pre-edited, and I know last week I was really inconsistent about doing daily plant shopping videos. I know that some of you guys mentioned it's not the same when it's not daily plant shopping, but I will say it does take a toll making plant shopping videos, 1 hour plant shopping videos on a daily basis, because you have to think I have to drive to a big box store after a 10-hour shift at work at minimum, film for about an hour, do another voiceover that would be another hour, wait for the video to render and edit, which could take another hour, and then upload, and then it's just a whole process, which I don't really mind at all because I do feel like it is part of my daily routine. Somebody asked me, Richie, do you ever sleep? I do. I still get my 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but I'm very mindful and I try to maximize my productivity when it comes to just all the time I have during the day. Now, as far as the H2O Leaf Joy series, you can see that Proven Winners has quite a bit of plants. I really love this Thenanthe, for instance. Really beautiful plant. However, I know that this plant is still going to be a challenging plant, even though it is growing hydroponically, which means it's just growing in straight water. You wouldn't necessarily have to worry about watering it because it's sitting in water. However, that particular plant is still very susceptible to spider mites. And then as you can see right here, we've got a bunch of Proven Winner 6-inch planters. Now, these are typically $29.98. You can see that this has been super sun stressed. This is a philodendron Ring of Fire. You can see that some of the leaves have gotten a little too much sun or light. And then you can see right over here, this is some type of calathea. I think this is Leopardina for $29.98. You can see that Proven Winners actually has different types of plants for different spaces. This one right here is a Cling On ficus. benjamina. This one has some really nice green on green variegation. With any ficus plant, as I mentioned in all my videos talking about ficus plants, you must, and this is a must, you must have quite a bit of bright light in order for the plant to do well. And this particular plant right here actually will let you know if it's not happy. It will literally shed its leaves if you underwater it, or you don't give it enough light, or if it's just under stress. So that's the interesting part about the ficus benjamina. And then we can see right over here, this is another ficus plant right here. This is the Amstel King, a really nice looking ficus. And if you look at the actual stem, it's got a really woody texture, really woody trunk. I like that texture on this particular ficus. Again, if you're going to have ficus plants, any type of ficus plant, please make sure that you're either putting it in a south-facing window, a west-facing window in your space, or better yet, grow it outdoors in a shaded patio first and slowly integrate it to more light. Actually, a lot of our plants right now, you can take a lot of your indoor tropical plants outdoors in a shaded patio area where it gets like morning light. If you want to see massive quick growth, or better yet, if you're rehabbing plants that did not do well, like plants that are either leggy, plants that need more growth, take them outside. Trust and believe that for some reason, taking your plants from indoors and bringing them outdoors really is like a boost of steroids for the plant. I've noticed that quite a bit. And if you're really trying to add some growth to your plants, especially if you have really good weather between 70 to 80 degrees for the spring weather, that's the perfect time to bring out your plants to get some additional growth. Now over here are some more Leaf Joy H2O bowls. This is a Syngonium for $19.98. And actually Syngoniums actually do well in hydroponic growing conditions, because Syngoniums tend to be a lot thirstier than the average plant. Most people will say that they are an easy to care for plant. I would say yes, but if you do not water them consistently, that's where you start to run into some trouble. Dracaena Janicraig compacta. This is another super easy plant. And if you notice that the leaves are a little bit dusty, that's because some of these plants have probably gotten some hard water on it, or just mud or something of that nature. That's a quick fix. So say if you were to buy this plant, I would just spray that Foldy Mist spray that I told you with the neem oil spray. It would definitely make it shiny, and it would definitely clean the plant up. You can see over here, Dracaena as well. Love this Tornado Dracaena, $19.98, and it's literally sitting in water. So as far as Leaf Joy by Proven Winners, these are really amazing plants that you can put in your space. That particular plant can actually tolerate lower light conditions. And then we got an Epipremnum aureum jade pothos. So this is just a green jade pothos. This is one of the fastest growing pothos because it's just green. And you know, any plant that has a lot of green around it, you have all that chlorophyll, it's able to photosynthesize, and it's just going to have a more vigorous growth. So we're just going to continue to pick up some of these plants. Again, plant foldies, let me know in the comments section what you think about these Proven Winner plants. And if you haven't already and you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. That thumbs up or like button you can find at the top left corner of the screen. That definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. can see that we've got quite a bit of proven winter leaf joy littles here. This one is another Hoya, and you'll see that proven winners, aside from all of their beautiful outdoor garden plants, we've got these indoor tropical plants, and I love the fact that they do offer different varieties of syngoniums, philodendrons, monsteras, and Hoyas. So if you are a fan of proven winter plants, I would definitely suggest going to a Home Depot. This Home Depot has a good selection of proven winter plants, and hopefully they will continue to just push out more proven winter plants as the season continues to become even more peak for all of these indoor tropical plants. For all the plant foldies that are watching, again, all of my plant shopping videos, really appreciate that you guys will tune in and listen to my commentary about the plants or things outside of the plant shopping video. And it's just really nice to see that you guys have been super kind to me. I know at times there might be some people that will come out there and maybe say a comment that's not always the kindest, but just know that you, the actual plant foldies that appreciate my work, is what makes me continue to be my most authentic self, as well as providing these daily plant shopping videos. If anything, I just love seeing a bunch of people on the live premiere chats, in the comment sections, interacting with each other, because at the end of the day, we all love plants. And speaking of loving plants, take a look at this. So this is for $15.98. So this is labeled as a Vigoro plant. This is an Aglaonema white lance. There's 3 of them in each pot. This is a 6-inch planter, but this particular Home Depot actually has these on sale for $9.98. I am actually super proud of myself, because even though this is a great deal for $9.98, I'm going to put on a little bit of restraint in terms of just spending money on plants. I have quite a bit of plants that I need to actually tend. As I've stated before, I tend to be super busy. The past week, for instance, has just been really busy to the point where I wasn't as consistent about making plant shopping videos. But this week, I've got my groove back on, and hopefully the consistency continues. And plant foldies over here, we have another Ficus shivriana for only $9.98. So all of these Vigoro plants are actually on sale. Normally it's for $15.98. These are all for $9.98. And of course, this would not be a Grow Folds plant shopping video if we did not show the classic Aglaonema red Siam. So $15.98. But if you look very closely, this is labeled as Vigoro plant, but you'll notice that these plants right here that I'm showing you are actually grown by Costa Farms. So as far as Costa Farms is concerned, they truly have a huge pull in the plant market, and it's really exciting to see that they continue to push out new releases for plants. Like I said, again, I did contact Justin, and he did mention that Aglaonemas do take a little while to grow in terms of the stock, but they do have some varieties that they are currently working and testing on. So hopefully in the near future, we're going to see some more Aglaonemas, but I am excited at the fact that, again, for $9.88, not 98 cents, these plants right here are on sale. So I'm just going to continue to keep showing you these plants. You will see that there is a whole table full of Philodendron Pink Princess by Vigoro plants. These are grown by Costa Farms. And if I had to choose a Philodendron Pink Princess, it would be this one, because if you look at the leaves, these leaves actually have more pink variegation as compared to all the other Philodendron Pink Princess. All the other ones are not as highly variegated. And with the Philodendron Pink Princess, the variegation or the pink is really impacted by the plant's initial genetics. So if the plant doesn't necessarily have a lot of pinks in their foliage, even if you do flood it with lots of light, it doesn't always push out the pink coloration. A lot of the Philodendron Pink Princess, the variegation is really influenced by its initial genetics. Now, some plants, like for instance, the Monstera albo, the genetics play a factor, but also lighting helps. And then as I spin around here, now these are the official Costa Farms trending tropical plants. These are all for $19.98. This is a Epipremnum aureum champs Ulysses. So if you look at this full table, we've got a bunch of Japanese pothos. So these were originally pothos that came from the Teruno World Series. So they've got a lot of different types of Japanese pothos. This one is called Champs Ulysses. So if you look at it closely, neon foliage, but it also has the leaves that have a little bit more curling texture. So this is the neon variety of it. And then when you start looking at the green varieties, that is called the Epipremnum aureum Shangri-La. It's also known as Epipremnum aureum Godzilla, but you'll see that it looks like spinach. Some people are not really fond of this plant. I find it very interesting. It is a little bit of a slower growing pothos plant, but at the end of the day, these are still easy to care for plants. And it's another example of how Costa Farms makes a lot of these rare and uncommon plants easily accessible for the general public, for the masses, for everybody that just wants to collect plants. You'll notice that it is in a self-watering planter. This trending tropical is in a different planter. It does have a little bit texture, which kind of matches the Epipremnum aureum Shangri-La pothos. So we're just going to continue to look at some of these plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section, again, plant foldies, as I take you alongside with me to go plant shopping. I love this Home Depot. You know, for a small town outside of North Houston, I would say this is one of my go-to Home Depots to feature. I definitely love filming this particular Home Depot because they do have quite a bit of plants to pick from, and usually they have their plants on sale. I mean, every time I visited this particular Home Depot, they have it on sale. So let's continue to look up at some of these plants, and you never know, I may end up buying a plant. I have really had great restraint in purchasing plants. I always say, if you're gonna go try to save money on buying plants, have purpose on why you are buying the plant. Be intentional about why you're adding a certain plant into your plant collection. That way it becomes less overwhelming because you're not buying as many plants and you're not having to take care of as many plants. That's something that I've learned. And so we're just gonna admire a lot of these plants by Costa Farms, and of course, proven winners, Leaf Joy. This Home Depot plant shopping experience is not complete until I pull out the Aglaonema Golden Bay. You can see that this is another beautiful, easy to care for plant. Now, here's the thing. I know I've been talking a lot about Aglaonemas. Obviously, we want to hashtag popularize Aglaonema by just talking about it. And the thing about it is, there are many colorful varieties of Aglaonema. The ones that are the easiest, however, are going to be the large leaf green version. So we've got Aglaonema Golden Bay, we've got some Aglaonema Silver Bay, we've got Aglaonema Stripes, Aglaonema Nicole. Those are the Aglaonemas that are going to be the easiest to take care of. When you start to look at, say, an Aglaonema Red Siam, or even some of the red varieties, pink varieties, or even lighter color varieties, the things that you have to pay attention to is number one, root rot. So I've shown you guys a lot about me converting a lot of my Aglaonema into semi-hydroponic substrate, specifically leca. My take backs from converting some of them to leca is some Aglaonema do not always survive the transfer into semi-hydroponics substrate. So I am actually a little bit more cautious about putting certain Aglaonema into semi-hydro substrates. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but what I've noticed is Aglaonema tend to like to be more on the drier side. So that's going to be a side note, and I'm actually going to do a future video episode where I talk specifically about some of my key learnings with Aglaonema, Aglaonema care tips, what Aglaonema varieties I would specifically recommend. So stay tuned for that video. Now we're gonna be looking at some of these hanging baskets by Costa Farms. This one is a lemon button fern for $19.98. And so we're going to look at this fixture where it has a bunch of these 8-inch hanging baskets by Costa Farms. Like I said again, you know, this Home Depot for a small town outside of North Houston, they tend to have quite a bit of plants. And what's really interesting about Houston, Texas, is it's a lot more humid of an environment as compared to North Dallas. So a lot of these plants actually perform very well if you were to grow them outside in Houston, just because of the higher humidity levels. I mean, this one right here for $16.98 is a 6-inch planter of Syngonium Maria. Now with the Syngonium Maria, it does have more of a darker foliage. You want to make sure that the darker foliage is actually given more bright indirect light, because that's how it's going to maintain that chocolate brown tone. I love dark foliage plants. It's another go-to of mine, alongside with, say, orange colored plants, pink colored plants, and red colored plants. Now over here we have another beautiful Hydra Helix, or what you call the Hedera Helix. This one is a Florida ivy. And actually, this is my very first time seeing a full 8-inch hanging basket of Florida ivy. What I love about the Florida ivy is it's got a very beautiful structure to the leaf. And this, even though it is a Hedera Helix, I was super tempted to buy this because this isn't really something I have seen in terms of a full and really large foliage plant for an English ivy. I've never seen a Florida English ivy in an 8-inch hanging basket. And then over here, we've got some more creeping fig right over here. Beautiful plant. It's another one that does need a lot of bright indirect light for it to be really happy. So let's continue to walk around and explore what other plants they have available at this Home Depot. One of my favorite peperomias that I have yet to purchase is this peperomia Pixie Lime. You'll notice that the leaves are a little bit more compact. I love the colors and even just the very subtle veining on the leaves. I think it's really stunning. And this is another plant that would be very easy to propagate through just cuttings. And that's the thing about certain plants. I'm really drawn to plants that have that high probability of being able to successfully propagate plants. I am currently propagating a bunch of pothos plants, and I'm actually separating a lot of my Aglaonema. I've just realized that, you know, the plants that you can easily propagate are fun, and you can actually bring joy to somebody because you are able to share those plants. So we'll see if I can actually share them with some of our plant foldies. But as I walk around here, you'll see that they do have quite a bit of plants regardless of just the selection. While they don't always have a variety of plants, I'm still really excited to see that we have you know, all of these proven winner caladium. So if you don't really want to spend money on just like a full-blown caladium plant, you can actually just grow them from bulbs. And then you can see over here, we've got some more Hydra Helix. You know, I say Hydra Helix quite often on the plant shopping videos because some of the die-hard plant foldies and even the ones that are not super plant foldies just love to count how many times I say that. Now, my Hedera helix or my English ivy are still trying to recover outdoors. Like I said again, when it comes to English ivies, you want to just see if you can grow them outdoors. Now is the time to take some of your indoor tropical plants outdoors, put them in a shaded patio area where they get some really nice bright morning sun, and they are going to do so well for you. Trust and believe, if you have really good spring weather, they're going to put on a lot of growth for you. So as I pan away here, let's continue to walk around and see what other selections they have. And I did want to just ask the plant foldies that are watching my video today, give me some updates about some of your plants. What are your thoughts about some of the plants that you're seeing at big box stores? What other content do you want to see me put on the channel once I get some time to create it? Not only for just the main plant foldies, but for those that have actually joined the YouTube membership page, the Super Plant Foldies. What specifically would you like for me to create? Please leave that in the comments section below, because I'm really trying to brainstorm things that I can make that you guys are really going to enjoy. So let me know in the comments section, and I'm just going to keep walking around here and showing you some more of these plants. I am kind of interested in buying an Aglaonema red cyme. I mean, for $9.88, that is a really good plant price. Feel free to let me know if you also think that that is a great price for an Aglaonema red cyme. $9.88 for a 6-inch starter planter. Normally, you will see these for $15.98 in a self-watering planter by Costa Farms. Or if you find it in just a regular 6-inch planter, it will typically be like $12.97. And you already know I do all of these shopping videos often, so I know a lot of the current plant pricing for a lot of these big box stores. They're a little bit different. I've noticed whenever you go to different cities, at least in Texas or different parts of the country. So that's something I'm also curious about, plant foldies, is whether the prices that I'm showing you during my big box or plant shopping videos kind of match the same pricing you would get, say, out of Texas. And this one right here, you know, I am actually regretting the fact that I did not buy this Aglaonema white lance. I mean, I have an Aglaonema white lance, but when it comes to Aglaonemas, I don't mind having multiples of them. Actually, with PlantCon 2025 in Houston, super excited to actually get a lot of Aglaonemas. I should be getting about 20 of them from my seller overseas. Now, I would also recommend anybody that is going to the Houston PlantCon, please buy your plants from an international vendor. His name is Riki. I've seen him since last year and seen him at many shows. Very trustworthy, worthy seller from Indonesia. His garden is called Art Garden Flowers. Please follow him on Instagram and definitely check out some of the plants he has available. And he actually has variegated anthuriums that you can pre-order. Please send him a direct message. He really responds very quickly, and who knows, you may get a really good plant price for those variegated anthuriums. That is who I get a lot of my Aglaonemas from, alongside with Green Spaces ID. I'm also getting some more Aglaonema in the next couple weeks, so that's something I'm super excited about. But as far as my Aglaonemas, moving forward, I think I'm just gonna pot them up in a soil substrate rather than putting them and semi-hydroponic substrates, because what I've noticed is I can still maintain Aglaonemas even if I do not water them as often. You know, a lot of times, or the reasons why I ended up putting a lot of my Aglaonema in semi-hydroponic substrates is because I felt that I wasn't going to be able to maintain the watering cycle for those plants. But Aglaonema, again, because it has been a topic of conversation in some of my previous plant shopping videos, is They're a little bit more resilient to drought tolerance. And honestly, if you are growing Aglaonemas, do not overwater them. It is okay to let an Aglaonema soil substrate dry out for at least a week before you give it a really good soak. They will be fine. Honestly, they will probably do better than keeping their soil super moist, because they are susceptible to root rot, and as well as like fungus, or that like browning on the leaves, where all of a sudden you just have that fungal mildew situation going on. So less water is really going to prevent that from happening for your Aglaonemas. And you can just see over here for $9.88, we've got a bunch of Vigoro plants. And I'm just going to mosey over here and continue to show you some more of these proven winner plants. They are ranging from $19.98 to $29.98. And it's really interesting because these proven winner plants are also labeled from Costa Farms. You'll see that this is a philodendron painted lady, and it is another beautiful plant. As I've stated in previous videos, philodendron painted lady, even though it has that beautiful yellow coloration, in order to maintain that, you must, and I say this, you must make sure that you are providing it with quite a bit of bright indirect light. Otherwise, it will revert to more of a greenish tone. So let's continue to look at some of these proven winner plants. I intend to buy more proven winner plants, specifically the caladiums that they're putting out there. I'm going to see if I can actually grow a caladium indoors. I mean, they do mention that it can be adapted as a houseplant, so we'll see what that looks like. And if anybody else is going to buy some proven winner caladiums, please feel free to keep me updated. One thing I also love about the Plantfoldy community is how we all talk about the plants we are growing. We share our wins, we share our struggles, and I love that, because I feel like if you have a support system where we can encourage each other in terms of whether we're struggling with plants or if we're really doing well with the plant, I just feel like a community is better in terms of sharing that information. So let's continue to just keep looking at these proven winner leaf joy plants. Know that I will continue to just showcase a lot of these house plants available for you, and also mix up some of the outdoor garden plants in some of my future videos the next couple of weeks. I wanted to go ahead and just zoom in onto this plant again. Look at that gorgeous yellow neon leaf. Again, this is another plant you just have to make sure you're going to give bright indirect light. Otherwise, it's not going to hold on to that color. If you're able to maintain the lighting conditions, you're going to really have a showstopper plant. Proven Winner just has many philodendrons available. And, you know, in terms of Proven Winner leaf joy plants, I know we often associate the philodendrons and aroids through Costa Farms, but Proven Winner's Leaf Joy series, it's one that I would say everybody needs to also look at. And in order to really find those plants, you really need to go shopping at Home Depot. Now that we've actually looked at a lot of the indoor tropical plants, I did want to just take a gander and take a look at some of the plants in the outdoor tropical section and just outdoor plants as well. I mean, you can see that they've got a mixture of containers. Look at the stunning cordyline Hawaiian tea plant with also the impatiens right over here. And then this purple shield plant for only $16.98. So if you want this Persian shield right here, this would make a perfect patio plant. It does need bright indirect light. You need to make sure that you're maintaining a good water level in terms of just consistently watering this plant. You don't want this plant to stay dry for too long, but I mean, this right here for $16.98, you're going to get a really nice purple tone for it. And then we're going to be looking at some of these ground covers. That's one thing I also like to explore when it comes to the outdoor garden section at a big box store like Home Depot, is just seeing what plants you could potentially take indoors and grow as an indoor tropical plant, like this one right here for $2.98. I don't know if anybody's actually ventured out into trying to grow some of these outdoor plants indoors. Plants I would recommend or try to grow indoors would be like coleus plants, caladiums. Those types of plants would actually do fairly well indoors. Now this one right here are the tropical shrubs, and this is another one that I like to take a look at. You can see that they've got some blooming tropical plants right over here. But what I really like looking at is going to be the crotons, which is going to be in just a bit. But take a look at these beautiful blooms. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think about these plants. Clearly, you can grow some of these plants indoors, especially if they are a tropical plant. You'll just need to provide this particular one a lot of bright indirect light as well. And you can see over here, we've got a sea of croton plants. Most of them are going to be the croton petras. These are for $19.98. Now with crotons, it's either you love them or you hate them. I absolutely love them. They remind me of my family's home country, the Philippines, because a lot of these plants actually grow into full-blown trees. One of my favorite crotons to take a look at is the croton mame. I mean, can you take a look at this? It looks like this whole plant is on fire. Look at how vibrant the colors are. So we're just going to keep looking at these plants. Let me know what you think about the foliage, but this is another plant that just needs quite a bit of light. You can actually grow them in full sun outdoors as well. Changed their mind on this Encore Azalea bonfire, but I ended up actually getting one from the previous Home Depot plant shopping video. I just did not show it on the video, but you know, that's going to be something I will be sharing as I make it into bonsai. But let's go ahead and look at the rest of these plants right here. You can see that is a really nice Altanentera. That one has some beautiful neon yellow foliage. Now this one definitely needs to be growing outdoors as an outdoor type of ground cover shrub. And then I also like these variegated chifleras or umbrella plants, and take a look at the price, $9.98. This is going to definitely need a lot of bright indirect light, but you can definitely grow this beautiful plant indoors. Just make sure you provide it with bright indirect light. I remember when I went to the Philippines last year in July, these plants were actually grown as a shrub outdoors and even in full sun. So it just really depends on your growing environments. Unfortunately for North Dallas, my grow zone, which is 8B, this would not survive the cold winters. I ended up buying one of these plants actually at this particular Home Depot last year. I ended up sending it to Plant Heaven because I forgot to bring it indoors. It was actually growing outdoors in full sun, and it was doing very well for me. And again, for just $9.98, that is such a good price. And I just am in awe of the beautiful variegation. And that's the thing, you can find variegated plants for a cost-effective price. It's just that not a lot of people, for instance, are running over and trying to buy a variegated chiflera. I still think it's a stunning plant. And I mean, look at this sea of different types of croton plants. So we're going to continue to walk around here. I love the fact that the next set of croton plants are only going to be for $9.98. These are all provided by Costa Farms. So if you're going to buy a croton, rather than to spend, say, $8.98 for a 5-inch planter, if you happen to go to Lowe's, you'll see, not Lowe's. If you happen to go to this Home Depot, $9.98, you'll get a different variety of these croton plants. As far as croton plants, the care tips are you definitely don't want to have the croton plant stay dry for too long. It will drop its leaves. It definitely needs quite a bit of light. If you're able to acclimate it to, say, the outdoors, where you put it in an area that gets quite a bit of morning sun, and eventually acclimate it to the point where you can put them outdoors in full sun, they are going to do very well. They will put on a lot of growth. And then in terms of the weather, they do not do well or respond well to cold weather. Once they get exposed to cold weather, oftentimes croton plants will actually drop their leaves. But you can see how these leaves are just very beautiful. It looks like somebody splattered paint on them. They look like works of art. And all of these plants right here have about 4 different croton plants. And so you're getting 4 plants for $9.98, which, if you were to ask my opinion, that is such a good cost-effective price for plants. Sometimes you have to look at the plant pot to see how many plants you're getting in a pot, and then just think of how much you're spending. I just feel like that's such a good value. This one is called the croton gold dust, which is basically one of the more common crotons. But needless to say, just because something is common, it does not mean it doesn't have any value in terms of somebody's plant collection. Truthfully, a lot of the common plants are common because they're readily available and definitely cost effective. $9.98. So let's continue to look at these plants right here. As I wrap up showing you all the tropical shrubs that are available to purchase at Home Depot, take a look at this beautiful cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. It's got some large foliage, they're nice and broad, and I just love the maroon color. This one is another plant that, even though some people say you can grow them indoors, it's another plant I just wouldn't recommend growing indoors because it's very much spider mite prone. And then I did want to highlight a couple more proven winter plants. These ones right here are coral bells. This one is really dark foliage, and just look at that. Beautiful black leaves right over here. And if you want like a gothic garden or something that's a little bit more darker theme, these beautiful coral bells are what you need to go for. Proven winners, and that is the reason why I say proven winner plants, especially when it comes to the outdoor plants. They are just winners for me, and I truly believe that they just have some great hybrids that they have. So let's continue to take a look at some of these proven winner plants right here. specifically the coral bell ones. Now, I wouldn't recommend growing these indoors. These would definitely be very much so spider mite prone. Otherwise, if you have it to where you can put them in a shade garden, they're going to do very well for you. I mean, just the colors are stunning. So many different blooming plants. And speaking of blooming plants, lantana is a perennial, and I'm so glad that I actually have lantana coming back in my garden. Very fast growing plant. It has beautiful foliage as well as beautiful blooms. And then you can see right here, this is one of the coleus plants that I found. Again, for coleus plants, curious to see if any plant foldies have actually tried to grow these indoors. They work very well for me as well indoors. Now, a lot of people may not be into their velvety texture leaves, but you can always try to mix it up a little bit. So I encourage plant foldies to try to grow some of these plants that I would recommend, caladiums and coleus plants indoors, to see if they're going to work for you long-term indoors, or at least try to grow them in your patio garden. That's just something I would recommend. I really just want to expose you guys to more different types of plants that you may not necessarily gravitate to. And then the final portion of this video that I wanted to show you is just some of the lime and lemon trees that they have available here. As far as lime and lemon trees, they are pretty easy to grow. The only thing you will need to make sure of is providing them with a lot of sun, full sun at best. And actually, I'm looking at this one. This could potentially be good pre-bonsai material. I've been really looking at certain plants, specifically encore azaleas, to try to make into bonsai stock. All of the Satsuki azalea that I bought from Metro Maples, for instance, have done very well after being transferred into a bonsai pot. And then you can see right here, we've got that caladium, calamodin, I think that's how you pronounce it, or the calamansi tree that is available. And mine has so many fruits that are already starting to ripen. And I'm glad that I actually put good money to invest in such a plant that I'll be able to get a lot of use of. Plant foldies, in terms of fruit trees or vegetable plants, let me know in the comment section what you're growing in your garden aside from the indoor tropical plants. Or if most of you guys are growing indoor tropical plants, would you actually consider growing vegetables, herbs, and fruit trees out in your landscape? I'd love to know in the comment section below. And then you can even see right here, beautiful bougainvillea. Here is another plant that I just wish my weather or my groza would allow me to grow long-term outdoors. I know in California, these plants, these bougainvilleas, can actually grow all across a wall, and they are absolutely stunning. You can just see right over here, two plant foldies, that this Home Depot has so many many plants that they've actually had to extend their outdoor garden section right here. It's always fun to just walk around and talk about the plants. I do appreciate those that really tune into my videos and actually accept the fact that, yes, I love to talk. And yes, I am super talkative, but you know what? In terms of just the content, I always tell people, be your most authentic self. Do what you feel like is right for you. Do what is comfortable for you. So in terms of the content that I provide for my YouTube videos that I worked super hard on, I will talk throughout the video. I will kind of show you more of the plants, but just bear in mind that I just like to give you guys my commentary and I just like to talk. So that's just really me. That's Richie. And if you ever run into me in real life, know that we can have a full-blown conversation about plants and I'll never get tired about talking about plants. So again, plant foldies, if you enjoyed today's video and you want more content, join my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, for more content. Otherwise, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Grow Folds. This is Richie. I will have another brand new video for you the next day. Check out the videos on the screen that pop up at the very end of the video on the left and bottom right hand of the screen. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be grocery store plant shopping at the Kroger out in North Houston, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. I would really appreciate it if you did press that thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at GrowFolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. You can see that this video was actually filmed when I was visiting my grandmother for her 90th birthday celebration. I had a little bit of time before the actual celebration happened, so I wanted to check out what Kroger had in terms of plants. So we're going to just take a look to see. Now, I will say this, for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. Kroger is one of those places that if you're able to go to this grocery store, you're going to find some very cost-effective plants for just really good prices. You'd be surprised about what plants you will find. Typically for the indoor tropical plants, they are usually sourced out by Mason Farms as well as Costa Farms and Urban Jungle Plants, specifically the hanging baskets. You can see right over here for $29.99, we've got some beautiful hibiscus flowers right here. Love hibiscus flowers. Unfortunately for me, my grow zone is 8B. I'm actually based out in North Dallas. These plants cannot be grown in my landscape because they are not perennials. They're a tropical plant. So whenever winter comes around, when we get snow, it definitely will not survive the cold weather. I do love hibiscus, and it's really interesting, all of the new hybrids that are coming around with hibiscus. Now, when you think of hibiscus, though, you do think about the red blooms, and you can see they've got a bunch of Miracle-Gro potting soil mix, and for $4.49, they've got these small sets of fig trees. And, I've gotten into bonsai. So for those that don't know what bonsai is, it's basically growing a miniature tree in a shallow pot. I would think that these would be perfect candidates to make into pre-bonsai. Let me know in the comments section if that's something that I should do. But a lot of my other content that I've been working really hard on, I will have up ready to go very soon. I've been able to catch up on a lot of things. The last 2 weeks, I haven't been nearly as consistent about trying to get the daily video up. Unfortunately, life gets in the way, job gets in the way, and then I just wanted to take a little bit more time to myself. I wanted to not overexert myself for a little bit. I did end up getting a little bit sick. I'm still recovering from that as I edit this video, but I did want to take you alongside with me as I go plant shopping. So this is going to be a two-part video where I definitely check out this grocery store, and then we're going to be checking out Walmart to see what Walmart plants we have available. So I'm just going to walk around here and just show you the plants that they have. Let me know in the comments section if you enjoy doing outdoor gardening, because my outdoor garden is really coming to life. I've got a lot of vegetables. My Japanese maples are doing very well, and I was able to get more seeds to germinate. So that's something I will eventually share with the Plantfoldy community. I did want to say thank you to everybody who has joined the Super Plantfoldy tier. That is my YouTube membership for only $2.99. You will see some more personalized content with my personal plants. I believe I will be doing my houseplant tour premiere on that platform. So definitely check that out. If you are interested in joining my YouTube membership page, all you have to do is click the join link, which is in the comment section of this video. I have it pinned up, but let me just pan around here and just show you the rest of the outdoor plants that they have available. What's interesting is whenever you go shopping for plants, you never know where you're gonna find plants at really good prices. And most people, when you think about going to the grocery store, you think about doing your groceries. It's crazy how, as I've done all of these plant shopping videos, I don't go to grocery stores to actually do my grocery shopping. That's like an afterthought for me. It's more of, I want to go to a grocery store to see if I could find beautiful outdoor plants like this for such good prices. Petunias are definitely in, especially for spring season, for your spring garden. But as far as Kroger, they have some really cost-effective plants, and I definitely want to share that with the Plantfoldies today. Really excited and thankful that for those that always tune in to the live premiere chats, for those that show kindness and spend a lot of time leaving comments in the comment section and interacting with the other Plantfoldies, thank you so much for that. And then you can see over here, Plantfoldies again, petunia mix, $16.99. Look at how beautiful the colors of these plants are. I love petunias, and what I like about petunias is certain ones actually deadhead themselves, so you don't necessarily have to worry about cutting off the blooms when they die. They just get rid of it themselves, which I really like. And if you look at how beautiful the white blooms are there, I mean, I absolutely love it. It's one of those petunias that I'm actually curious about maybe even adding that into my collection, even though these are plants that are considered annuals. Let me know in the comment section if you also grow flowers for the spring and summer. I definitely am somebody that loves blooms, and we're gonna go see what they have available in this Kroger. What's interesting is whenever I'm traveling, I love to see what kind of plants are available at different parts of the state of Texas, and I'm curious to see what other plants are popping up in other places throughout the country. You know, we have lots of Plantfoldies all over the United States, but also internationally. So shout out to all of my Canadian Plantfoldies specifically, because there's a lot of you guys that tune in. Really appreciate that. But petunias, those are amazing plants, and they even have the glow-in-the-dark petunias that have come out by Costa Farms. But anyways, before we get into that,
Hey guys, I'm Janae from Janae Simone.
I'm Steve from I Love Plants.
and I am Richie from Grow Folds, and we are
Cultivation Corner. We are so excited. We have a plant podcast. We talk about any and everything, all things plants, and we premiere every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube at cultivation_corner. So be sure to tune in and watch us.
Follow us also on Instagram, and be sure to share our videos and our episodes with all of you plant lovers. We need more cultivators, right,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes, we do. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna share the video.
You
That's
have
what
to.
you're gonna
You
do.
have to. Today. All right,
Today.
guys. We'll see you on the next one. And just like most grocery stores, if there's going to be indoor tropical plants or plants, it's always going to be in the floral section. Whenever you see daffodils, tulips, and hyacinths, you know that we are in spring season. I love spring season, so it's really a toss-up between spring or fall, which is my favorite season of the year. I love both because you get all of the beautiful fall colors, but you also get the rebirth and reblooms of so many beautiful flowers. And like I said again, it's always nice to see philodendrons and just different types of plants that used to be uncommon. You can see this is a philodendron hastatum, or a silver sword. Really love the look of this plant as well. And I did want to say shout out to Plantfoldy D specifically, thank you so much, ma'am, for sending me a philodendron silver sword to PETA's planters. It is doing very well in my care. And, you know, this is why Wild Interiors, this one right here is for $19.98. I have to say the kindness that the plant foldies show me, and even the support that our plant foldies give for PETA's planters. And if you don't know who PETA's planters is, it is my favorite plant shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Definitely shop petasplanters.com. And for those that actually tune into PETA's Planters Instagram live selling, thank you guys for always supporting small businesses. It definitely helps support her dream. And it's one of those places where you want to spend your time. You want to support people that have the same visions, that align with the same type of thought process. And that is all about being kind to each other. And that's one thing that I did want to highlight with the community today, you know, is the fact that we always need to slow down and think about our actions, how we treat people, how we interact with people, what we say to people, and what those repercussions are. I am a big advocate when it comes to social media etiquette, just the way we interact with people on a digital space. And that's why for the plant folding nights, the ones that come out to my defense, whenever there is somebody that may not have thought about what they really wanted to say in a more constructive way, thank you for that. And you know, that's the thing. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent as I show you these beautiful plants. I've been told that I'm too talkative. I've been told that I am repetitive. I've been told that they just want to see the plants. Love that. But I am one of those folks that I'm really going to draw the line in the sand that if, you know, somebody's not interested in the format in which I create my content, it is not going to hurt my feelings if somebody just doesn't engage in the channel. But, you know, I was reading the comments with my grandmother. She sees that stuff too. And we were discussing how certain people just have the tenacity to just freely say things without thinking about, would you say that to your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your brother, your friends, your family, somebody like that. So I always want to be that champion when it comes to just being really mindful about people's spaces and how that goes about. You know, my grandmother did say that if you do put yourself on social media, you do subject yourself to people having opinions. Totally get that, but in the other sense, I also think that I have a say on how I want this channel to be. And it's one of those things where negativity, like I said again, plant foldies, you already know is not going to be tolerated, and you pretty much will just be highlighted to where people can see how you want to be in a negative light. So just a little tangent. You already know whenever I go plant shopping, I love to tell you my thoughts, and I think a lot of the plant foldies appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. Now let's get back to the plants right over here so you can see. At Kroger, we have a bunch of these Wild Interiors curated series. These are for $19.98. I just picked up one of those philodendron white princess. Beautiful plant, but I love the fact that even a grocery store like Kroger grocery store is now carrying philodendrons. You can see right over here, we've got another philodendron. I believe this is a philodendron white knight. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's a white knight because it does not have the pink petioles with it. Beautiful plant. It's a pretty fast growing plant, surprisingly. And this is another philodendron that you do need to give it some type of support because it wants to climb. That's why whenever you're going to buy a house plant, do know what the natural inclination is of the plant. Otherwise, it's not going to give you the best growth. I mean, this one right here is a philodendron kempii. Love this plant as well. And it does get very long, narrow leaves. It does want to grow more of like a wider form versus climbing. Really love the texture of it. And this is another prime example of a beautiful green plant. I know we all love the variegation on a lot of the plants, but let's always go back and think about the beauty of just looking at green foliage. It's the most natural way we are supposed to look at plants. You know, the variegation is really a genetic mutation of the plant. It's just interesting as human beings, we gravitate to these mutations. And it's just interesting how a plant's value does increase whenever there is some weird variegation that happens. For me, I like both. I won't say that I am not somebody that goes after a variegated plant. I definitely do. But there is something that I've learned throughout my plant shopping videos that I've been doing for about a year and a half. I can't believe you guys have actually stayed in with me doing these plant shopping videos for almost a year and a half. I've just realized that whenever you go back to the basics, whenever you go back to the easy care plants, you're going to have less stress in your life and more joy because a plant is not demanding so much of your time. And speaking of an easy to care for plant, $13.99. We've got a bunch of these spider plants. And you know, spider plants, they are plants that a lot of people will also overlook. What's interesting about spider plants is they do produce a lot of little babies that you can propagate. That's really the era I'm at right now. Is I love the idea of just propagating many different plants. I mean, free plants are great. That is the best way to save money, is if you are able to acquire a free plant. And no, I'm not encouraging you to do prop lifting. And speaking of prop lifting, if you haven't checked out the YouTube plant podcast that I'm part of, Cultivation Corner, definitely check it out. The season finale for season 2, where we discuss plant scandals, plant tea, plant drama. Definitely check that out, because you know, there was a whole subject about prop lifting. If you are listening to my video and you are watching this right now, my message for anybody that prop lifts, please reflect and think about why you would actually lower your moral integrity for a plant. It's always easy just to ask somebody, could you get a cutting? Could you pay for a cutting? Could you, XYZ, work a deal out. Do not lower your actual morals because of a plant. It is so crazy. There are so many other subjects I could talk about. Let's just say, even at plant shows, I won't confirm which plant shows, there were so many instances where people were really robbing these sellers of plants. That's just crazy. And I hope that I don't have plant foldy viewers that have that unmoral tenacity to just steal a plant. So that's another 2 cents of mine. I haven't been able to really create new content, and I've had a lot of things to say. And so that is another thing I wanted to put out there. I think having these plant shopping videos where I can freely talk to you guys, if you engage to talk and listen to me, I just want people to really think about the plant community, the actions that people go about things, the judgment, all of that. I think, when something becomes so commercialized and there's like a monetary value for a particular plant, that's where things get a little bit hairy. What isn't hairy is this beautiful Alocasia Mickey Mouse. This is another one for only $13.99. And like I said again, whenever you go to like a Kroger grocery store, you will find some hidden gems. And so I'm just gonna walk around and pick up a couple more of these plants. Feel free to leave in the comments section, plant foldies, which plants you actually like that I'm showing you at Kroger. And if you wanna see more grocery store plant shopping videos, I know I do a lot of big box store plant shopping videos. I know that I need to show you some more of my plant hauls. There's a lot of things I need to do, but one thing is for sure, you're still going to get that daily plant shopping video if I can help it. So let's keep walking around here and I'll show you some more plants. And this is another beautiful friendship plant, or Pilea peperomoides. Love how it has that beautiful shape. And that's another plant that used to be the it plant about 6 years ago. It was super expensive, but now you can buy it at a grocery store. And that is the beautiful thing about plants. They become accessible. So if you practice a little bit of patience, if you feel like you don't need the plant today and wait just about a year or even 2, you will be able to acquire that wish list plant. I know that there's a lot of different types of plants that are wish list plants. I mean, my wish list plant is an Aglaonema crown of Siam, for instance. Right now, I can find it for about $400, but I feel like if I wait another year or so, the price is going to go down. So we'll see what that all looks like. Now, as far as Kroger grocery stores, Kroger grocery has tons of Phalaenopsis orchids, but take a look at this plant foldies, an urban jungle fixture of hanging baskets of plants for only $12.99. That is a low price when you go plant shopping for plants. I mean, take a look at this. This is an 8-inch hanging basket of a beautiful Rex begonia. $12.99. How do you beat that? That is probably the most inexpensive plant pricing. And no, we are not shopping at a big box store. We are literally going to a grocery store and we're finding urban jungle plants, low price for only $12.99. That is insane. I was honestly tempted to buy this Rex begonia. That is a beautiful one, or even these syngoniums. But I mean, can you believe that? I would challenge anybody to let me know if you find 8-inch hanging basket planters this full for only $12.99. That is crazy. I love it. I mean, I was even tempted to buy this syngonium here. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I am in love with syngoniums. Again, syngoniums and I are back in a mutual relationship. We're doing very well because my syngoniums are actually growing in semi-hydroponic substrates, leca and pond. So that for me is going to make it easier. And that's the thing about syngoniums. They're a quote easy to care for plant if you are somebody that is consistent at watering. I am not. These plants are super thirsty, so you don't want to let them dry out completely for too long. Otherwise, they start to get droopy. They start to lose their leaves. It's just a bad thing. Now, like this one right here, this neon illusion, beautiful syngonium. Again, it is only for $12.99. What a great plant price. And my suggestion for anybody, again, that goes shopping for plants, do your research. Look at what the plants are selling for at other retailers or other places and compare and contrast. Don't feel the need to have to go spend your money and buy plants. Look for those deals. This is a great deal. So if you're able to find 8-inch hanging baskets of urban jungle plants at Kroger, that is probably going to be the most inexpensive, cheapest house plants you can find as compared to all of the other retailers such as Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, or even Target. That's just my experience. You might be able to find them less. I mean, like, take a look at that leaf right there. That is amazing. That gets me excited. And, you know, when I do my voiceover and actually do the commentary, I can kind of just feel what I felt when I actually filmed the plant. And that is another reason why, yes, my format of my videos is pretty much the same. But for me, on a selfish note, it's me really finding that therapy, that mindfulness to just be able to walk around, film some plants and really enjoy the foliage and just being able to pick the plant up and then know that I'm going to be providing that same type of joy and love for plants with the plant foldy community. So, you know, syngonium, we got a red marantha, we've got a lot of beautiful hanging baskets, and these are only for $12.99. Literally, I would have bought all of the hanging baskets of plants because I felt like it was such a great price, low price for only $12.99. But alas, I definitely did not do that. And Foldies, have you ever heard of this new soil called Classy Rabbit, which is from a local small business out in McKinney, Texas? Really excited to share with you this new soil, which is 100% organic. What I love about it is that this is a standalone type soil. You don't have to mix orchid bark or other amenities that actually make this soil chunky. It is already chunky, light, and fast draining. You can use it to improve your existing soil. What I also like about it is they are made by farmers, so they don't really consult like soil scientists or whatever that means. They really know what Mother Nature has in the soil. And what I like about it is I've been able to pot up a lot of my plants from overseas, and they have really acclimated to this soil. I love the fact that, again, it is 100% organic, and the ingredients that we have would be rabbit manure, composed food waste, pine bark chips, mycorrhizae, dried molasses, pumice, and expanded shale, rice hulls, and yucca extract. So all of those ingredients really make this soil. It is balanced, and what I love about it is Classy Rabbit products are simple where it counts, smart where they matter. So that means all of the ingredients that the soil needs, it's right there. They don't need to add anything else, and they don't offer anything that they don't need. I also love the fact that Classy Rabbit is priced well, where it's a happy medium between the low prices of cheap, and when I say cheap, quality, and the high prices of unnecessary ingredients. It kind of balances it both. And if you see right here, I potted this Aglaonema up in a terracotta planter. You can see how fast draining it is as I put a bunch of water into the soil. You can see that it is literally just draining through, but just because it's fast draining, it doesn't mean that it doesn't retain moisture. It definitely does. But I love the fact that I don't have to worry about adding any perlite, because this particular soil doesn't have perlite. It has all natural ingredients. So for those that have never heard about Classy Rabbit, please go to classyrabbit.com. I highly endorse this soil. I love it so much. And even though I've been doing semi-hydroponic substrates like Lechuza Pond and Leca, I've actually been converting all of my plants back to soil because of this particular soil. They do offer free shipping at classyrabbit.com. Let me know in the comment section if you're interested, and hopefully you will support Classy Rabbit. I mean, have you pooped on your plants lately? I would. Haven't bought your Classy Rabbit soil? Definitely go to classyrabbit.com. Order a bag, try it out. Let me know what you think about the soil in the comment section. I absolutely love it. My Aglaonema do well. Now we are going big box store plant shopping. Big box store plant shopping at Walmart in Prosper, Texas. It is a windy afternoon when I visited the Prosper, Texas location. Again, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And you can see right over here, what a beautiful selection of blooming plants. We talk about petunias right here. And here's the thing about petunias. There's so many different hybrids. Now, here's the thing. You want to make sure that you are growing your petunias in full sun. These types of flowers, like the majority of flowers, actually need a lot of light to produce those beautiful blooms. Petunias are an annual plant, so these plants you really can't keep alive past the growing season. Same thing with marigolds, but here's the thing about marigolds. Marigolds, when you plant them near your vegetable or herb garden, they actually help repel certain plant pests, which I think is a natural way versus using like pesticides. Really like the idea of having that companion plant. And so for me, I know that a lot of you guys look at the indoor tropical plants, and let me put this out there again because I love to speak my mind. What frustrates me sometimes about the algorithm is if you don't subject yourself to a very specific niche, which would be, let me go ahead and use that keyword, right? Big box store plant shopping videos. And if you deviate from that and do something like, say, I don't know, Japanese maples or bonsai or something of that nature, even if, say, a subscriber or a viewer is subscribed to your channel, sometimes the algorithm will not recommend that. And to me, that's kind of just frustrating because I feel like, a specific channel can introduce different types of content to expose people to different types of things. So I am kind of going against the grain slightly. I'm still showing you guys plants, but that's the reason why, if you are curious as to why I've spent a little bit more time on the outdoor garden section, it's because I also enjoy outdoor gardening. Honestly, if you were to ask my opinion, growing plants outdoors in a garden, it's so much easier than growing tropical indoor plants. And hear me out. Tropical indoor plants, for instance, you have to have grow lights. You have to have a chunky soil aeroid mix. You have to have a specific watering regimen and pest control. Versus growing all of these beautiful outdoor plants like these hostas, for instance, you just plop them in the ground, and if you have like a sprinkler system, that is it. You don't always have to worry about plant pests, because if you grow plants outdoors, there are natural pest predators that get rid of that. I don't really ever think about plants ever really getting spider mites outdoors. And like aphids, yes, but if you have ladybugs or any types of beneficial insects that get rid of those plant pests, then you are good to go. Tomatoes. Can I talk about tomatoes for a second? I love growing tomatoes. Now, here's the thing about tomatoes. They need to be out in full sun if you're going to grow them in a garden. And as far as weather, they like warmer weather conditions. They just perform a little bit better. If you were to buy some of these Bonnie vegetable plants right here, when you plant your tomato, you want to plant it further into the ground. So some of the stem needs to go into the ground. That way it doesn't get so leggy very quickly. It's going to definitely need a support. But as you can see here, plant foldies, the Prosper Walmart. If you're going to go shopping here, it's not necessarily the biggest outdoor garden center for Walmart, but you're still able to see Delphinium, for instance, for $18.88 by Better Homes and Garden. So you can still get lots of plants here. It's not the biggest selection, but I'm still thankful that, this is a Walmart that's close to where I am based at. So I'm easily able to go to this location and film this content. Rumor has it that they are actually getting the Costa Farms rare cactus and succulent fixture. So, stay tuned for that. If I'm able to find it, you already know, plant foldies, I will share it with you. I did want to ask our plant foldies, now that we're on the subject of outdoor gardening, how many of you guys actually grow plants outdoors, or are you specifically somebody that grows only indoor tropical plants? I would love to know in the comments section. And so for the plant foldies that actually participate when I ask questions on the videos, I really appreciate it. But let me know in the comment section, because I'm curious to see what my audience is interested in. And I really just want to get to know the plant foldies. The super plant foldies, or the ones that have actually joined the YouTube membership tier, really appreciate you guys, because I know that you guys are starting to see more of my personal plant collection. I will have more for you guys very soon. And, that's something that I'm excited about, because I don't feel like the algorithm will penalize me if, say, I show you what type of foods I like, because I also consider myself to be very much a foodie, somebody that enjoys trying different types of food. Aside from growing indoor tropical plants, loving creating plant content, I also like to travel. And whenever I travel, I love to try different types of food. So that's another thing I wanted to ask our plant foldies is, what kind of foods are you guys interested in? When I went to my grandmother's 90th birthday celebration, I was really thankful to be around a lot of Filipino food. I mean, me being a Filipino American, proud Filipino American at that, I just miss home cooking. If you have never had Filipino food, try lumpia, which is our egg rolls. Try our pancit, which is our noodles. And there's just so many different types of Filipino flavors, and adobo. Adobo is amazing. So definitely check that out. But that's something I also wanted to share with the plant foldies. Now over here, you can see this is the Island Bloom series. So these are from Costa Farms, $5.84. You can get yourself a white bird of paradise, and you can get a selection of different types of cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. Love cordyline Hawaiian tea plants. As I say in all my videos featuring cordyline Hawaiian tea plants, please grow these outdoors. If you try to grow them indoors, chances are they are going to get spider mites. I've tried it multiple times, and just like Hydra helix, or what you call the Hedera helix, that's the correct way to say English ivy, y'all. They are just spider mite prone, and there are some certain plants. I mean, when you think about it, all the plants we see that we call a house plant, keyword house plant or indoor plant, is not an indoor plant. It was sourced somewhere where the plant could potentially adapt to being grown in an indoor environment. But most plants, especially certain plants, they do very well when they are actually grown outdoors. Some plants, whenever you take them indoors to try to grow them indoors, they just don't adapt well. And the reason why plants end up getting pests like spider mites is because the plant is sending some type of pheromone where it's a little bit more susceptible to being attacked. Now over here, I did want to show you guys this. These are the clearance or AKA 911 rescue me plants. I regret not buying this Aglaonema BJ Friedman for only, let's take a look at the price right here. Let me try to find it again. I can't find the price. I think it was like $12 or something of that nature. I mean, it does have some damaged leaves, but the thing about BJ Friedman Aglaonema, it's a green Aglaonema. Most green leaf Aglaonemas tend to get larger leaves, and they grow a lot faster than the more colorful Aglaonema that we've been all loving. Yeah, $15. That's still not a bad price. That is a Costa Farms release. And BJ Friedman, it is another plant that I would recommend as far as like an easy to care for plant. Here's the thing about Aglaonemas. Most Aglaonemas are easy to care for. All you have to do is make sure that you water the soil when it is completely dry. Aglaonema do not like to be overwatered. I would say still try to grow them in bright indirect light. The greener versions are a lot more resilient than the colorful versions. And you can see even over here, if you're looking to save money, this is for $10. That is a philodendron campii. That's the same type of philodendron we just saw at the previous location we were shopping at. But in terms of, buying plants that are marked down on clearance, my caution is, there might be potential plant pests, and you have to invest a little bit more time to rehab the plant. What I would suggest, and this is what's happening with some of my plants. So there were a couple of plants in my plant room where literally, I'm going to just be really honest, plant foldies. Part of the reason why I haven't done a houseplant tour is because I basically created a full-blown drought where I did not water the majority of my Aglaonemas, philodendrons, and all of these plants in my plant room for about a month and a half. Can you believe these plants still stayed barely alive for not being watered for about a month and a half? That's the reason why I am about Aglaonemas, because they are a little bit more drought tolerant resistant, actually really drought tolerant resistant. But there were a lot of philodendrons, a lot of syngoniums, a lot of other plants that definitely got very close to going to plant heaven. So I'm rehabbing a little bit of those plants. But, it just teaches me the fact that when you buy too many plants, you overexert yourself. And, to anybody that might be experiencing plant burnout, you are not alone. I think a lot of times, especially when I'm looking at these beautiful hibiscus plants, for instance, we get super excited about growing plants. So that means we just feel the need to buy all of these plants. I'm not saying plant foldies that we shouldn't indulge and buy plants. Buy the plant if it brings you joy, but just know that any plant you bring is going to require time. And I always feel like there's never enough time to do everything at once, or just try to get as much of the things that you want to get done. Like coleus plants, for instance, love coleus plants. I know some people that is not their jam, but all of the colorful foliage plants are always going to be my jam. I love growing coleus plants. outdoors, but they can be grown indoors in a bright sunny area in your space. These plants can grow long-term indoors. Some people will consider them a house plant, but it's interesting how this has not really been like a plant that would be considered an indoor tropical plant. In the Philippines, they call this the Mayana plant, and these are so easy to propagate. Like if you take a cutting, stick it into soil, you probably have a 98% chance that this plant will root within 4 days. That's really how fast this plant will root. You just want to make sure that the soil remains fairly moist. Now, coleus plants prefer to be more in a shaded area unless they are a sun coleus, and they are very thirsty plants. And here's some more petunias right over here. You can see that this one just has so many beautiful colors. Now, this one is a specific type of hybrid, and that's what's interesting. And these ones are the Amor petunias. $8.97 is the price. Beautiful plants. I mean, as a matter of fact, I may end up just getting some petunias to grow as an annual plant on my patio. My back patios actually come along very well. I had so many planters from my other plant casualties, plants that I put to plant heaven, to the point where it just got very cluttered. And now my back patio is a nice little sanctuary alongside my beautiful Japanese maples and ginkgo trees. As a matter of fact, I will be visiting Metro Maples within the next week or two to go buy some more azaleas and Japanese maples. If you haven't already, definitely check out one of my best videos. It's my Metro Maples videos. I just really feel like that was just something a little bit different, a little less talking. For those that don't like me being so talkative, that's just something where you can just immerse yourself in Mother Nature. So if you haven't checked it out, please watch my Metro Maples videos. I've got a full playlist, and that's one thing I did want to highlight too for anybody that has discovered the channel. If you ever feel like you need to binge my content, I would love for you just go to my channel and just play a playlist. There's so many old school videos. Even check out my origami stuff. I don't know if you guys have actually checked out how to make a paper crane. Let's just say that there are some certain super plant foldies that will be receiving some handmade paper cranes by me, and these are the paper cranes that were actually featured in some of my YouTube how to make a paper crane videos, so you get a little bit of that. Now we're gonna go walk indoors and check out some of the indoor tropical plants by Costa Farms. These are all for $20.96. So we've got a bunch of these trending tropical Costa Farms plants. The first one up is going to be a xanthosoma. So I had a beautiful xanthosoma that I bought from a local nursery called Callaway's Nursery. It didn't do well for me. It actually ended up getting plant pests, and I wasn't sure why. It's something that I want to revisit at some point, but I have been trying to downsize and get my plant collection a little bit more curated. I say that, but then I also announced that I will be getting about 20 new Aglaonema from overseas. Really thankful to Ricky at Art Garden Flowers. He was able to source out some Aglaonema. So definitely send a direct message to Art Garden Flowers on Instagram if you're interested, or if you want to buy any plants from greenspaces.id on Instagram, send me a message. I can possibly get you the plant foldy discount for Aglaonemas. Now, as far as the trending tropical Costa Farms plants, you cannot go wrong with a pothos plant. Or better yet, the way I like to say it is Epipremnum aureum. This one is the global green pothos. This was originally a Japanese pothos. So this was actually a cultivar that was discovered and, mass produced in Japan. Now it is available because Costa Farms has made it readily available for the general public. I spent about $50 on a 1-leaf, 1-node cutting about 5 years ago when this plant was considered rare. And it's interesting because more and more Japanese pothos are starting to make it into the market. And, as far as pothos plants, if you're looking for a beginner plant, if you're looking for a plant that is going to bring you joy, that it's going to be easy, that is easy to propagate, that is common but still brings you a lot of joy, become a pothos fan. Just like we've actually made Aglaonema a lot more popular, I think we need to get pothos back in the game. Yes, we see the golden pothos. Yes, we see the marble queen pothos. There is nothing wrong with finding a plant that is going to grow for you very easily and for the most part fairly quickly, and you can take several cuttings. I have about 50 plus pothos cuttings rooting in water. A lot of them just need to be potted up in soil or even semi-hydro substrates. And I'm thinking about actually giving them away for free at a plant swap. There are many plant markets that are happening out in the DFW area. I would actually think about vending at one point, being a vendor and selling plants. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what plants you think I would sell if I were to be a vendor. Just curious to say, to actually see what your input would be on that. But you can see right here, golden pothos. This one is another one for only $9.97. This one is Garden Expert, but the Garden Expert line is actually Walmart's brand for a plant. And, that is actually sourced by Costa Farms. What I didn't realize is Vigoro plants of Home Depot actually get some of their plants from Costa Farms. So it is going to be one of my, bucket list things to do is to be able to tour the Costa Farms facilities, because I often talk about Costa Farms. Every day I see a Costa Farms plant if I am going big box store plant shopping, or if I am just walking around throughout my home. I have so many Costa Farms plants. Does that mean that I only support big box stores? Absolutely not. I love supporting small businesses as well. That's why I'm always talking about PETA's planters and featuring some of the local nurseries out there. You will never know what kind of plants you would be able to acquire unless you are just open-minded and you source your plants out from different locations. And today's video, since I haven't been able to put out a brand new plant shopping video in a couple of days, I just get very chatty and I just really want to talk to you guys directly about some of my thoughts. But my thought is right here, Monstera staedtleana, $20.96. Beautiful trending tropicals plant. Now this one again is another Monstera, so this one is another plant that you would need to put some type of support for it to climb, because it wants to climb. But overall, does this Walmart have quite a bit of plants? I would say it has a limited selection right now. $15.97 self-watering planter. Another Costa Farms houseplant, the classic Aglaonema red Siam. And you already know this is probably the most common Aglaonema, alongside with the Aglaonema Silver Bay. I actually want to know, plant foldies, which one are you team on? Are you team red Siam or team Silver Bay? Let me know in the comment section. But for me, it's still a beautiful plant. Look at the pink stems. Look at the borders on the leaves. It is easy to grow. It is cost effective. It's inexpensive, but it's still such a beautiful plant. For some reason, there is an emotional connection when it comes to just looking at an Aglaonema. I think it's because, as far as a content creator, somebody that utilizes social media, I just feel like I've already made somewhat of an impact on hashtag popularize Aglaonema. I mean, I see that even when all of the plant foldies will get on the PETA's planters live selling, you guys use the hashtag. So I urge everybody to continue to post, to continue to celebrate Aglaonemas, because as a community, I think we can create a trend, and that trend will continue to spiral to more people if we just show that that plant, it has some value. I mean, this right over here to Monstera staedtleana, this used to be an it plant. I feel like people also overlook it. For me, I like to go root for the underdogs, because I feel like those that don't have a voice to really push these plants are the ones that we need to be pushing, because you never know what kind of joy a certain plant will bring. And me talking about Aglaonemas and just talking about these plants, I've seen the progression where people are really about it. So I did want to say again, thank you to all of those that have actually opened their collections to getting Aglaonemas. But I also want everybody to look at green plants like this, Monstera Peru. $20.96. Again, beautiful plant. Now they have the variegated version, but I do think the variegated version is not as stable. I say let's also, as a plant folding community, celebrate green plants, because green plants is where it's at. Green plants is where you're going to get the most stability. So let me just continue to pick up these plants and show you what they have. And then I want to go delve in a little bit more on planters. This Calathea ornata, priced at $15.97, is a beautiful plant. It does remind me the look of like an Aglaonema. I just wish it was just an easy to care for plant. Unfortunately, it is not. Calatheas are definitely not going to make it into my plant collection anytime soon. I've tried multiple times, but they all just scream to go to plant heaven. So I would rather not bring that pain of taking a beautiful plant like this home. It may work for others, but for me, it's just not a plant I would highly recommend for anybody, especially if you don't have the right conditions for it. It does prefer higher humidity levels. It definitely needs to be watered more consistently, and it is spider mite prone, so you just have to like take care of it in terms of making sure you're spraying it with neem oil or some type of pest preventative. Now, if you do have higher humidity levels, that does repel spider mites from forming, but then again, you have to worry about fungus gnats, and there's just a lot more to it than the beautiful foliage it provides. There are other alternatives such as Aglaonemas. Now over here is another Epipremnum aureum. Actually, no, it's an Epipremnum pinnatum. This one is the Albo version, and I really love this plant as well. And I remember how this was a super expensive plant, and now it is available through Costa Farms Trending Tropicals line. So lots to pick from, and I just love that Costa Farms is continually just bringing a lot of new releases. I am hoping Costa Farms puts out an amazing Aglaonema new release. That would just be amazing. I've noticed that Proven Winners Leaf Joy actually released the Aglaonema Silver Queen. That was such a beautiful plant that I got in a H2O bowl. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check out my previous plant shopping video. It's featured there. But as far as all of the plants here, really satisfied, because at the end of the day, you know, Walmart always has consistency also when it comes to indoor tropical plants, especially during the spring season, and more plants will definitely appear throughout the spring season and early summer. We're starting to see some other plants that you can grow indoors as well that are typically grown outdoors, such as caladiums and coleus plants. But Aglaonema red Siam, if you don't have one, plant foldies, you've got to at least get that one. Try it at least one time, see if you like it. But it is an easy to care for plant, and I feel like the value of the plant increases when more people are actually enjoying it and you have somebody to discuss it with and share your love for that particular plant. That is the reason why, again, Plant Foldies, you guys are the very best plant community, because you guys really do interact with each other. So if you're watching this video and you actually made it to this live premiere, join the live chat. There's a lot of really friendly plant foldies. If you actually search hashtag popularize Aglaonema on Instagram, you'll be able to connect with other plant foldies. But anyways, let me just keep walking around here, and then I'm going to show you some of the planters and some of my picks in terms of planters at Walmart, because I feel like planters at Walmart are the most cost effective. Now, when you talk about my classic planter, $4.74 for a 6-inch terracotta planter. Now, these are the modern looking terracotta planters, so it's not the typical one. I love these, and the reason why I love these terracotta planters is, especially if you are somebody that overwaters plants, or you have plants that are either succulents, cactus, or Aglaonema that prefer to be on the drier side, growing them in terracotta planters is going to make it easier for the moisture to dry out a little bit faster, which kind of prevents plants from actually getting root rot, because terracotta actually absorbs the moisture a lot faster. So a lot of my Aglaonema that I've received have been potted up in these modern terracotta planters. I really love the shape. It's very simplistic, and when it comes down to it, I mean, the price is right. It is all about trying to save money. It's all about trying to manage your finances. You know, growing plants, having a plant hobby is a expensive one. So we want to try to find ways to minimize spending, and that's one way to do it, is finding cost-effective plant prices like this, or planters. $2.49 for these 4-inch terracotta planters, and they are super modern looking. Really love the simplicity of it. Let me know in the comment section, plant foldies, what you think about the modern terracotta planters this season that Walmart has released. I think they're the best pricing available. And then we're just going to walk around, and I'm going to pick up some more of these planters. Let me know again in the comment section which ones you like. Do you like this bubble one right here, this pink one? I mean, who doesn't like pink planters? As much as I love pink plants, I also love pink planters. I feel like it just works for any space, honestly. But, you know, that remains to be seen. You know, everybody has their own different aesthetics, but let's just walk around and do some planter shopping at Walmart. And the majority of planters that are offered at Walmart, I would definitely buy. I mean, if you were to compare Walmart's planters as to all the other big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, and Target. Walmart has the most inexpensive planters for your plants. So that would be my recommendation. And I do think that over the years, Walmart has really spent some time elevating their planter brand. And lastly, I did want to show you some plant products I use before I end this video. $13.48 Osmocote Plus, really good slow release fertilizer that you can mix into your soil substrates. Some people have mixed opinions about Miracle-Gro all-purpose plant food. I like it. It's got a 20-20-20 balanced solution. And so if you want something that is just going to be balanced for any type of plant you grow, I would recommend this. Now, some people want to go the more organic route. If you wanted something more organic, what I would recommend would be like the Fox Farm fertilizers or We the Wild Grow concentrate. Now, I've never tried the Garden Expert plant food, but it's basically only for $3.88, which is going to be the most inexpensive, cost-effective plant fertilizer you can purchase. It's similar to Miracle-Gro fertilizer. I've never tried it. So for those that have actually used that fertilizer, let me know in the comment section how effective it is. But that's another place when it comes down to your plant products, the things I like to use. Miracle-Gro doesn't fertilize, it does fertilize my plants, but what I'm trying to say is Miracle-Gro does not sponsor me. I am open to sponsorship, so Miracle-Gro, if you're watching this, let me know in the comment section. But these are products that I legitimately use. I use the indoor plant food. I just use 1 drop and put it in my hydroponic water to just grow my plants that are growing in leca and semi-hydroponic substrates, and that does it for me. I've never tried Dr. Earth fertilizers. I'm curious to see about anybody's reviews, and really that's another thing. As far as the plant products that I use, I think I'm gonna pepper that in more so some of my videos, because I feel like I get a lot of questions, direct messages about what I use. Like even these single ones right here are perfect if you want to just do a mass watering. Spring is the best time to fertilize your plants because they are actively growing, and some people say Super Thrive does not do anything for the plants. I swear by it, especially when I am getting plants from overseas, when I'm trying to rehydrate, rehab them. That B vitamin really revitalizes the plant. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's shopping video today. Join my YouTube membership tier, Super Plant Foldies, if you are interested for more content. As always, this is Richie at Grow Fold. Subscribe to my YouTube channel with all the notifications on. I will have more brand new content available for you this week. I've got a lot filmed, so I'm back at it, and I really appreciate y'all's viewership. See you soon.